What's going on? So continuing the series of starting with $0 to build a profitable eBay store, I'm gonna give you a tour of my free storage unit. That wasn't free. But so I started this with selling a home defense item and something that goes with that for $275. And then I sold a weed eater that I don't use anymore for $250. I mean, a $525 boot. Using that money, I thrifted some more items, which I'm gonna give you a tour of the thrift haul, but also I got a storage unit. So the first month was free. I did have to pay $65 in setup fee, insurance, and I bought a lock. So it's $65 out of the $575 or $525. And I also used the rest to source some items. Some of this is what I already had laying around the house, clothes that I don't wear. Some I thrifted. Some of this is some gifted, like some items we never used when we moved. So I'm gonna sell some of that. Some of this is some construction materials like this that I'm just storing here or selling since I don't have storage where we live anymore. Yeah, got started with zero money, started with what's around the house, sold that for some cash, used that cash, put it directly into inventory. I'm gonna show you that. Also, exciting news. I have about 9 items listed or so, 9 or 10. And this morning I got my first sale since I've been back on eBay. So I started on eBay messing with this challenge this week, I think Monday or so. Today's Friday. I only put items up a couple days ago and I got my first sale. It is an old shirt. Let me show you, I'm excited. I turned the sound on because I took an offer. I turned the sound on just so I can hear the cha-ching. It is an old Carhartt shirt that I wore personally plenty of times. It was in my closet and it sold for $7 plus shipping. So not a huge sale, but it is my first sale back and I'm very excited about that. So without further ado, let me show you a little bit of the thrift haul. Some normal stuff in here. I remember some brands from when I did this before. Also, it took me, I haven't thrifted in a long time. It took me an insanely long time to thrift and I went to an estate sale. But yeah, let me show you all the stuff I got. So this is a local sports team, Louisiana State University Tigers. It is new with tags. That's why I picked it up. Otherwise at $5.99, it'd probably be a pass because it's not a good brand or anything, but it's new with tags. So that should be able to do good there. This is some corduroy, what is it? J. Crew. I remember corduroy doing well in the past. These were like $6. No, actually they were $5.69, but they were half off. That's why I grabbed them. So like $3 or something like that. This new with tags Wrangler. It's the vintage style. I'm not quite sure if they are vintage. Sometimes this tag setup is vintage, but it's new with tags. So I grabbed them for $6 because they're regular 40 from the store. This is some flame resistant pants. I used to do really well with these. They were $6, but I saw the comps were doing okay in the 20s, 25 plus or so for some. So I grabbed these. New with tags Nautica shorts, nothing special. Just new with tags. Again, 20, 25 plus. Nice little staple. You can just rinse and repeat that over and over as I'm building my store. I want to have a volume store with big ticket items mixed in. So these are like staple items that can get the store going. More than I want to pay, honestly, $6. To me, thrift stores and all that is taxing nowadays, but you got to play the game. So this was from a different thrift store that has better pricing. These were $3. LL Bean black jeans, vintage pearl snap button up. I used to do pretty well with like selling a lot of these too. This was the big ticket items though that I was pretty stoked about. Again, it took me forever to thrift, but I recognized Levi's 501. And I said, 501s usually do pretty good. But then I noticed this one's kind of faded. You can't really see, but on this pair, you can see something made in USA. So these appear to be vintage Levi's 501. When I was in the store looking up comps, I mean, they were, some of the comps were $50 to $100 for vintage Levi's. I'm not a Levi expert, so I don't know the years. I don't know which ones fetch the big bucks, but for $3 a piece, and a lot of comps were showing between 50 and 120, it's definitely worth picking up. So I'm gonna do a little more research on these. Like one pair had a few stains on it, but I'm like, dude, I think these should sell quickly and for good profit at $3 a pair. So I'm gonna try to move them quick, see how much they can go for. Do a little more research and get them listed pretty soon. Then I got these 511 leggings. I don't see a lot of these, so I looked them up. They do pretty good. Nothing crazy. They were like $3 or something. This is one of my old personals that I don't wear anymore. Under Armour, like thermal thing to keep warm. And a Carhartt hoodie. That's one of my personal items too from the house. Most of the personal clothes I have listed already. I'm looking at momentum and progress over perfection. And so like, this is how my setup is. I've just moved in here. It's not perfect. I want some tables, I want some shelves, but I'm just staying in motion. If you don't take action, you get hung up not doing anything, trying to make everything perfect. Like I sold an item, I still don't even know how I'm gonna ship it yet. I have until Monday, but I'm gonna try to ship it today on Friday. Just getting moving, getting in motion. Not waiting for the perfect setup, not waiting for the perfect storage, just getting in motion, and I'm gonna figure it out as I go along. It's impossible for me to figure it all out today before you begin. Then you'll never do anything. So this is some more stuff I thrifted. I'll be quick with these. These are some Wolf and Shepherd shoes, dress shoes. They're a little beat up. The comps were 35 to like 75, probably 35 to 55 more realistically, but these are a little beat up. So I'm gonna clean them up and see if I can't get that lower end. These were 2 personal shoes. I probably already showed you all these. Timberland boots, wet, waterproof. Picked these up from Goodwill for like $6 or so a piece. This was from an estate sale. Looking back, I just really wanted to buy stuff from this estate sale, but it was day one and all their prices were kind of high. So looking back, I overpaid on this stuff, but it is what it is. I already have it. It still could go well because of this. This is a vintage toy, still sealed. I paid $6 for it. Still new in box. I think it was, I forget the age of it, but I spent way too long looking at comps over there. I looked at too many items. Their prices were too much, but I just really love estate sales, and I used to go to them a lot. So I paid $6 for that. They have one listed on eBay for $50, none sold. I think it'll still do pretty well just because it's a vintage, new in box. I remember these from a few generations ago. I've seen a few around. And so being new in box, I'm like, somebody's gonna pick it up. So I felt okay about it. This is what I probably overpaid on. I just did well with book sets in the past, and I like religious texts. I am a person of faith, and so I like this kind of stuff, and I like old vintage books. So this is one, what is it called? Letters of Liturgy or something like that. It's Catholic. I am not Catholic, but the person at this estate sale was, and so there's some Catholic literature. This is one set, and then this is another. All the books were $6 a piece. I got one for $4 because it's a little messed up, but individually, the books might go for 20 or so. So 6 into 20, not bad. I'm gonna try to shoot for though, selling them as sets. So one set is 3 books, $18, hopefully into 50 plus. And then one would be about $24, $22. And I'll hopefully turn that into 50 plus as well. So again, kind of paid. I should have waited maybe a couple days because they slashed the prices, but I was there. I wanted to get the items. I spent like $50 technically. And any one of those things that I got, any one of the 3, I would call it, could sell for 50 by themselves. So potentially, and so the rest would be free profit, hopefully. So a little more than I wanted to pay, but I still feel okay about it. So that is a little bit of a haul. Oh, another big thing. This is a CPR dummy. Let me show you. This is why I love reselling and like thrifting and treasure hunting and all that, because it's just so random. Clothes are the staple, but this is so random. It's a CPR dummy that they actually train medical people with, I guess. It has a little air pump. It's missing the face, but this is like, that's the brand. They really use it. And so I saw with the face and in working condition, man, some of them were going for $150, $200, $350. And so I grabbed it, missing the face, and I'm not sure if it works. I'm not really gonna test it probably. I'm just gonna list it like for parts or for replacement or something like that. I still think it could do pretty good, maybe over 100, I'm not quite sure. And I paid $6 for it, or $6.99. And so, like I said, this is why I love reselling. Like if that was a complete set, the full body was going for like $350, $450. And I paid $7 for it. So again, clothes is gonna be the main haul, but every now and then you can sprinkle in some of this fun other stuff after my main listings are done and try to shoot for big profit. This was from that other, the Good Price thrift store. Some arithmetic, Abeka books. I think that a lot of homeschool people use those. And so I actually saw them selling pretty well. And I think I paid 25 cents per copy. And I'm pretty sure each one was going for more than $10, 15 or so, something like that. I can't remember, but 25 cents into $10 plus. Pretty good. This was an old gift. If you're watching the video, don't be mad at me. We never used it. We moved around, we moved to a different house. And so I've been having it. And I think that goes like new, it's like 125. So I'm gonna try to get something there. That is the majority of the haul that I got. This initial $525 that I sold stuff around the house with, paid for the storage unit, which was $65, and then I probably spent 50, let's call it another 100 thrifting, and I have all this stuff. So this is enough. My main focus is don't keep buying stuff until I get all this stuff listed. And so I'm excited to be back in motion. I'm excited to be making progress. I'm gonna list all this stuff. Praise God, first sale today. Feels good to be back. I'm excited to turn nothing into something and keep using creativeness and resourcefulness. Even since I've already been back, I do construction. I have a construction company, is like my main job, whatever. Even since I've been back doing eBay, I'm already more creative, I'm more resourceful, and deals are starting to happen outside of this too. I'm actually going to pick up some furniture to try to like flip on Marketplace to keep quick cash coming in, and just do whatever's required to really build momentum, get cash in the pocket, and keep this thing going. So I'm fired up. Thank you for watching this far. If you're watching, stay tuned for more of the journey. See y'all in the next one.